We weren't really sure about what to experience, and I don't think the NFL itself was sure of how everything was going to, transcend or how everything was going to transpire.
Very focused on the right facility, getting the stadium right, and making sure that the teams could operate in the UK as they would in the US.
When you're actually asking people to come over to London where you don't know where you're going to train, you don't know where you're going to stay, 55% on average of our rosters don't have passports before they come over to the UK, so it's not that they've never played abroad, it's they've never been abroad.
So it'd be like you showing up in the clothes that you have and showing up and going, okay, I'm ready to practice, and you didn't have anything. My job's to have everything.
For a team, they're basically moving everything from one place to the next. And for a team, the most important thing is consistency and routine. So for them, it's the same food. It's not the same, just the same quantity, but it has to look the same. It's the same condiments, it's the same equipment, it's the same field surface. So it goes, from extraordinary to field service to minimal, to the same Tabasco sauce or the same, ketchup.
The team did a great job of having the chef at the hotel come over to the facility, and he spent a week seeing what we cook, how we prepare it, what the guys like.
I think the fact that the New York Jets brought their own toilet paper is the most ridiculous idea I've ever heard in my life. Aside from the fact that it has already offended some British people that I've talked to, it is a waste of resources, unless, of course, there's something about the Jets' posteriors that we are not aware of.
A lot of the teams that come over have been from the South. They eat a lot of grits in the South, and nobody knew what grits was. So we literally had a grit tasting exercise in the Grove because a lot of our teams stayed there, and now they serve grits on their menu thanks to our teams. So there you go.
The idea of trying to put a regular season game was probably more reflective of how we as sports consumers had changed over the years. We've got relatively short attention span, spoilt for choice, time and leisure time is a real issue for us. And so therefore, the argument that I put out there was, if we're going to actually capture people's attentions, it needs to be the best that you could possibly put out there.
The NFL requires us to do some preparation work in the off season, which generally starts in March or April. We do some preliminary conference calls and stuff like that. We make sure we understand what they have provided and then what we have to fill in. If you need more, you need to send it on a boat. They have a boat shipment that goes early. And then they have an air shipment that goes, but there's deadlines for that. So you have to make sure you meet those deadlines.
This team brings its own water. Hydration is a huge, huge problem for NFL teams when they fly. When they fly across the Atlantic, it's a bigger problem. The inclination is to not drink as much water. The Dolphins are having to do that, though.
They don't necessarily trust the laundry products that we use here in the UK. They bring over their own laundry products. We have to bring over paper because they don't like working on the different size paper, so we ship paper here, so it's standard US style paper.
It's a different venue, it's a different country, it's a different continent, so obviously I can't attack it in the same manner. It's going to be a different thing for the fans back home because the kickoff of this game is going to be at 9:30 in the morning.
The first time we came, we stayed in the Grosvenor House Hotel, and it was a wonderful experience, honestly. Second time, it was more of a dorm room type situation. We didn't really have that good of a time.
Now it's more about how many sponsors are we going to bring, how big are we going to make this, how much, are we going to bring our whole staff, are we going to do parties at the Tower of London? So it's grown to that level, and that, to be honest, is what I think stresses the teams out the most. It's the extra stuff because they know the football works.
I'll give some credit to the sleep therapy. It was good. It was good. I think from the trainers to bring to the sleep therapists and doing the things that we need to do, make sure guys take care of bodies, no sightseeing and everything, make sure our bodies will get back to where we need to be.
From what I understand, it takes one day before your body gets acclimated to another place or a time zone. We just try to get in bed earlier. Practice was a little less for us. We didn't put a lot of weight on our legs this week.
It was a bit of a distance, but I think guys did a great job at, for the most part, at getting themselves acclimated with the time as far as our sleep. The first day and a half was really rough, but after that, I think we caught up.
You always get the one or two coaches that, will vocally express that they're not so happy with going to the game or going to London, but then you speak to them after during the post-game press conference and they'll have nothing bad to say and just say, you know, the reception was great, the field played well, we loved the venue that we stayed at, the practice facility was tremendous and people just went out of their way. Jerry Jones, Robert Kraft, kind of the bigger, more vocal owners have been extremely positive about the series.
This isn't something that's done in other markets. We have 3 games going on right now. Before you know it, it's going to be 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Obviously with the Tottenham deal, that's what people want to see is more games. So for right now, I think that's what we're looking for.
The NFL, they're not into wasting money or throwing away their money. They're doing this for a reason. And the reason is we want a team here. We want to be able to operate here in London and succeed.
My teammates and I, we've all had numerous talks about just how wonderful it is and how much we love it and how much we enjoy it because it was a really great experience.
NFL fans in the UK have never had it so good. Expansive TV coverage, a wide array of digital information at their fingertips, and this year 3 regular season games played at Wembley Stadium.